Welcome to Imam Ali's legacy for exploring the timeless wisdom of Imam Ali through the profound teachings of Nahjul Balagha. Our channel aims to shed light on the invaluable lessons and guidance imparted by Imam Ali, covering a wide range of topics including spirituality, leadership, justice, morality, and philosophy. Through detailed explanations, reflections, and insightful interpretations, we bring Imam Ali's words to life, helping you connect with his divine wisdom in today's world. Whether you're seeking spiritual growth, intellectual enlightenment, or simply a deeper understanding of the teachings of one of history's most influential leaders, this channel is for you. Join us as we embark on a journey of knowledge and inspiration straight from the sacred texts of Nahjul Balagha. Subscribe to stay updated with weekly content, including sermons, letters, and sayings of Imam Ali, along with their meanings and practical applications in our lives.
Ali and the philosophy of religions. A man enters a garden laid out into beautiful flower beds, artistically and aesthetically arranged. The flowers have been grown by those persons who know the art and science of it. The beauty of their colors and the delicacy of their forms and shades are pleasing to the eyes, and their fragrance enchants the minds. The man knows that he has not the knowledge and capability to cultivate and grow flowers like that, and the public has no time to go through the garden and enjoy the sights and fragrance of these beds at leisure. He picks up a few flowers from each of these beds and arranges them in a bouquet as a humble homage to the grandness and beauty of the garden. With this view in mind, these chapters were written. I have drawn freely from the following books: Al-Mu'tada, Al-Qarar, Al-Sirajul Mubin. Tothibul Matin, Nafs al-Rasul, the spirit of Islam, Islam under the Arabs, the preaching of Islam, Qosais al-Nisai, Al-Tabrisi's Itijaj, Bihar al-Anwar, Al-Manakib, Shah of Ibn Maysam, Shah of Mirza Fathullah, the Shah of Ibn Abul, Hadid and Urshad. I am sure the selection is not the best, but it is the best that I can do, and I am sure it will provoke minds superior to mine for better efforts. In this last chapter, I shall try to discuss the teachings of the Imam in the field of philosophy of religion. With Imam Ali and the Imams of his descent, religion was a vital and positive force of life. Their philosophy never sinks to a war of words without life, and without earnestness, which is the main feature of the schools under Ptolemies or the vicious circles created by the philosophers of West and East. Their ardent love of knowledge, devotion in the evolution of the human mind, their sincere faith in Allah and His mercy, love and kindness, and their looking upwards for the literalness of common interpretations of law, show the spirituality and expansiveness of their philosophy of religion. The Imam Jafar al-Sadiq defines knowledge by saying, enlightenment of the heart is its essence, truth is its principal object, inspiration is its guide, reason is its acceptor, Allah is its inspirer, and the words of man are those who utter them. To him, the evolution of the mind was the essence of life, and religion was the essence of the evolution of the mind. How correctly Imam Ali taught us that a man without a mind is not a man, and a mind without religion is worse even than the instinctual nature of a beast, more harmful, more dangerous, and more carnivorous. Devotion without understanding will not bring the blessing of Allah. It is useless. He attaches so much value to the mind and its correct ways of grasping the truth that he says your first leader and guide is your mind. At other places he says that nothing is more useful to man than his intelligence. There is nothing wealthier than wisdom. There is no greater bounty of the Master than the intellect granted to you. You can dispense with everything but your mind and intelligence. There is no better guide towards truth than wisdom. 1 hour of deep and sober meditation is better than a life of prayers without understanding, and a wise man thinks first and speaks or acts afterwards. Next to intelligence and wisdom, he taught us to attach importance to the sincerity of purpose in life. Explaining a certain verse to Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, "Ibn Abbas, if you sincerely and intelligently go in search of truth or religion, and if you wander out of the right path, even then there is a reward for you." There is a sermon in Nahjul Balagha in which he says, "Do not kill the Kharijites after me, because to go in search of the truth and to lose the true path is better than to spend the entire span of one's life in pursuit of vicious pleasure and wickedness." The natural and logical sequence of the above two attributes is to take account of yourself, your knowledge, your thoughts, your intentions, your desires, and your deeds. He therefore advises us thus: weigh your own souls before the time of weighing of your actions arrives. Take account of yourself before you are called upon to account for your conduct in this existence. To obtain favorable results of such weighing and taking account of oneself, one must have done good deeds, and as far as actions and reactions are concerned, he wants us to understand that human conduct is not fortuitous. One act is the result of another. Life, destiny, and character means a series of incidents, events, and actions which are related to each other as cause and effect by an ordained law. Therefore, apply yourself to good and pure actions, adhere to truth, follow the true path to salvation before death makes you leave this abode. If you do not warn and guide yourself, none other can direct you. The Master has pointed out to you the path of salvation, and has warned you of the temptations of this world. Abstain from foulness, though it may be fair to your sight. Avoid evil, however pleasant, for you know not how far it can take you away from him. His discourses in Nahjul Balagha about noble deeds are supreme reading. His warnings against sinful life are very persuasive teachings. He says, "O you servants of the Lord, fulfill the duties that are imposed on you, for in their neglect there is abasement. Your good work alone will render easy the road to death and to the heaven. Remember, each sin increases the debt and makes the chain heavier. The message of mercy has come, the path of truth is clear. Obey the command that has been laid on you. Live in purity and work with nobility of purpose, and ask Allah to help you in your endeavors and to forgive your past transgressions. Cultivate humility and forbearance. Comfort yourself with the sincere truth. Next to sincere faith in the unity of Allah and the prophethood of the Holy Prophet, he lays a great emphasis on piety. He wants us to realize that piety is not a juicy morsel to be swallowed easily, nor is it dip in the river to clean all dirt and filth from the body. Piety means those actions which at the beginning may be sour, harsh, and painful to perform. Piety means to free oneself from vicious desires and wicked deeds. This freedom cannot be obtained but by constant effort and endeavor. Such efforts are a continuous struggle and a long-drawn war against the vicious cravings of the mind. Nobody can be free from vices and sins unless he or she develops the capacity to abhor and hate them. When once this capacity develops, then to adopt a pious and sober life becomes a habit, a second nature. Few things are forbidden to you, and so many things are allowed that no one is barred from normal relaxation, ease and comfort from sober and harmless pleasures and pursuits. To him, asceticism was a sin against the self. History cites many instances where he admonished the persons who had given up their homes and families, had severed every connection with society, had taken to a mosque and had been praying, fasting and reciting the holy book morning, noon and night. He sent them back to their homes and told them that their duties lie among their fellow beings, and what they had done was not piety but fanatic asceticism, which is not allowed in Islam. He strongly reprobated observance of asceticism and condemned the abandonment of the affairs of this life in fanatic pursuits of rituals. He says that he who acts with piety gives rest to his soul, he who takes warning understands the truth, and he who understands it attains the perfect knowledge. His teachings do not convey any impression of predestination. On the contrary, they portray a soul animated with a living faith in Allah and yet full of trust in human development founded on individual exertion springing from human volition. One day, someone asked him the meaning of qaza and qadar. He replied, "Qaza means obedience to the commandments of Allah and avoidance of sin, and qadar means the ability to live a pious and holy life, to do that which brings one nearer to Allah and to shun that which throws him away from his perfection. Say not that man is compelled, for that attribution is tyranny against Allah, nor say that man has the absolute discretion to decide what is right and what is wrong. We achieve success through his help and grace in our endeavors to act righteously, and we transgress because of our neglect of his commandments." Explaining the meaning of the verse, "There is no power nor help but from Allah," he said, "It means that I am not afraid of Allah's wrath, but I am afraid of his purity, nor have I power to observe his commandments, but my strength is in his assistance." Allah has placed us on earth to try each of us according to his endowments, explaining the verse saying, "We will try you to see who are strivers after truth and purity, and who are forbearing and patient, and we will test your actions, and we will help you by degrees to attain what you know not." He says these verses prove the liberty of human volition. Explaining the verse, Allah directs him whom he chooses and leads him astray whom he chooses. He says, this does not mean that he compels men to evil or good deeds, or that he either gives direction or refuses it according to his caprice, for this would do away all responsibility for human action. On the contrary, it means that Allah points out the road to truth and lets men choose as they will. In a sermon in Nahjul Balagha, Imam Ali says, the theory of compulsion, predestination or predetermination of fate is a satanic insinuation and a doctrine of faith among the enemies of Allah. On the contrary, Allah has ordained man to obey his commands and has given him freedom of will and action. He is at full liberty to obey his commands or to disobey. There is no compulsion in accepting the religions preached by his messengers, and no compulsion to obey his commands. Even his commands like daily prayers, fasting, zakat, etc., are not hard, harsh and unbearable, and every leniency and case on account of age and health is granted to man. the freedom of human will, based on the doctrine that man would be judged by the use he had made of his reason, was inculcated in the teachings of the Holy Prophet, along with an earnest belief in the supreme power ruling the universe. Imam Ali gave this idea a more definite form, and it grew into a philosophy. In reply to a question, he says, perhaps you consider predestination to be necessary and the particular decree to be irreversible. If it were so, then reward and punishment would be in vain, and the promise and the threat would be of no account, and surely blame would not have come from Allah for the sinner, nor praise for the righteous, nor would the righteous be more worthy of the reward of his good deeds, nor the wicked be more deserving of the punishment of his sin than the righteous. Allah has ordained the giving of choice to man, and the putting of them in fear, and he hath not laid duties upon men by force, nor sent his prophets as farce. When asked, what is predestination and the particular decree which drove us, he answered, the command of Allah and the reign his purpose. Then he repeated the verse, the Lord has ordained that you must worship none but him, and to be kind to your parents. Morality of life is another point which Imam Ali wanted men to realize fully, sincerely and rationally. He wants us to understand that death is a biological incident of all forms of life, and it is unavoidable, inevitable, and sudden. No one knows when and how he or she is going to cross this barrier. Therefore, it is foolish to imagine that it can be avoided, sinful self-deception to forget it, and idiotically timid to be afraid of it. He says, I am as fond of death as a baby is fond of his mother's breast. The natural sequence of the mortality of life is that everything connected with it and with this world is mundane and has no lasting value. Therefore, why concentrate on pleasure and take to vicious ways to acquire them? Why not try to improve your lot in the hereafter? Imam Ali's teachings are a true gospel of the work ethic. He wants man to work honestly, sincerely and diligently, and to work for the reward reserved in the heaven. He says, work and do good work while you still have life, health and opportunities. Allah ordains you to work while there is still time to work. Be thankful for the time and opportunity allotted to you, and work for the good of mankind and for your own good. A life without work is a life without worth. A mind without sober thoughts and a life without a program of honest work is the most fertile soil for the seeds of wickedness and vice. Work with the nobility of purpose is one of the forms of prayer. His advice to his son was, exert yourself to earn an honest living. The worst form of folly is the wasting of opportunities. Opportunities do not repeat themselves, so make use of each of them when it presents itself, but let piety guide in all of your actions. Thus, Imam Ali guides us through the problems of men with respect to ourselves individually, as he leads us towards solving problems encountered with one another. In a letter to Imam Hassan, he says, my dear son, as far as your behavior with other human beings is concerned, let yourself act as scales to help you judge its goodness or wickedness. Do unto others as you wish others to do unto you. Whatever you dislike to happen to you, spare others from such happenings. At another place, he advises, do not make yourself a slave of anything. Allah has created you a free man. Do not sell away this freedom in return for anything. There is no real value or benefit that you derive by selling your honor, conscience, and self-respect. Do not run after him who tries to avoid you. Remember that to oppress a weak or helpless person is the worst form of tyranny. Do good to your brother when he is bent upon doing harm to you. Befriend him when he ignores you. Be generous to him if he is miserly to you. Be kind to him if he is harsh and cruel to you. But be very careful that you do not behave with undeserving, mean, and wicked persons. Imam Ali had a very soft corner in his noble heart for the poor, the disabled, the aged, and the orphans. To Malik he says, I want to caution you about the poor. Fear Allah about your attitude towards them. Let it be remembered that their welfare is the first charge to a state and on the well-to-do. People, as far as the question of man and Allah is concerned, Imam Ali teaches us to believe in Allah who has created us, who loves us, nourishes us, helps us, and is our well-wisher. He should be loved, adored, and venerated. Through many of his prayers, Imam Ali has implanted in the minds of those who have faith in Allah the highest devotional spirit. He teaches us to love and adore him, and to think of him as the Lord, the adorable, the eternal, the everlasting, the cherisher, the true sovereign, whose mercy and grace overshadows the universe. Who is the Master, the loving and forgiving, who bestows power and might on whom he pleases. None can lower him whom he exalted, whose beneficence is all-persuading, whose forgiveness and mercy is all-embracing, who is the helper of the afflicted, the reliever of all distressed, the consoler of the broken hearts, who is present everywhere to help his creatures, who fulfills all needs, bestows all blessings, who is a friend of the poor and the bereaved. At another place he beseeches the Master thus, You are my fortress, a castle for all who seek your protection and help, the helper of the pure and true, the refugee of the weak, the helper of those seeking your help. Thanks be to you, O Lord, whose mercy extends to every sinner, and who provides for even those who deny him. This is how he wants us to have faith in Allah, a creator, a nourisher, a helper, a refuge, a protection. One who loves you and one to be loved, adored, venerated, and worshipped. The other aspect of his teaching is that he has clearly and emphatically condemned all anthropomorphic to attribute human forms, qualities or personality to Allah, and anthropathy, ascription of human passions and affections to Allah concepts. He says, Allah is not like any object that the human mind can conceive. No attribute can be ascribed to him which bears the least resemblance to any qualities which human beings have perceived of. From their knowledge of material objects, the perfection of piety consists in knowing Allah. The perfection of knowledge is the affirmation of his verity, and the perfection of verity is acknowledgement of his unity in all sincerity, and the perfection of sincerity is to deny all attributes to the deity. He who refers an attribute to Allah believes the attributes to be Allah, and he who so believes an attribute to be Allah regards Allah as two or part of one. He who asks where Allah is assimilates him with some object. Allah is the creator, not because he himself is created. Allah is existent not because he was non-existent. He is with every object, not from resemblance or nearness. He is outside everything, not from separation or indifference towards his creatures. He works and creates not in the meaning of motions or actions. He sees and hears, but not with help of bodily organs or outside agencies. He was seeing when there was nothing created to see. He has no relationship to matter, time, and space. Allah is omniscient because knowledge is His essence, loving because love is His essence, mighty because power is His essence, forgiving because forgiveness is His essence, and not because these are attributes apart from His essence. At another place he says, O Lord, you are the Creator, I am the created. You are the Sovereign, I am only your servant. I am the one who beseeches you, Lord, are the refuge. You are the forgiver, I am the sinner. You, my Lord, are the merciful, the all-knowing, the all-loving. I am groping in the dark. I seek your knowledge and love. Bestow, Lord, all your knowledge, love and mercy upon me, and let me approach you, my Lord. You live in every heart and every soul. Your knowledge is ingrained in every mind. Judicial procedure, the principle of keeping independent of and over and above the executive, administrative and military sections of the state, was the main factor of the reforms introduced by Imam Ali. He was very particular about this, so much so that historians narrate that once he appeared before his Chief Justice, Judge Shorey, as a complainant, and the Chief Justice wanted to give him a place of honor in the court and to treat him like a king or caliph. He reproached the judge for such a behavior, saying that he was there as plaintiff and not as a king or a caliph. Then he cheerfully accepted the decision of the court against him. The effect of upholding the prestige of the Court of Justice and his adherence to the principles of equality and equity were so impressive that the person against whom he had filed the case and had lost it ran after him, kissed the hem of his garment, and said, Master, teach me Islam. I am a Christian, and I want to convert to Islam. Why? Inquired Imam Ali. Did anyone force you to do that? No, Master, the Christian said, but your behavior of treating even a non-Muslim subject as your equal, the prestige which you have granted to justice and fair play, and your abstention from use of power and authority made me feel that Islam is indeed a great religion. You are a ruler and a caliph. You could have easily ordered me to be killed and my property looted, and nobody dare ask reasons of your actions. But you took the case against me to the court, and cheerfully accepted the decision against you. I have never heard of such a ruler before you. What is more, what you claimed as yours is actually yours and not mine. But I know the persons who could provide proof of this are out of Kufa. Therefore, I boldly said that it was mine and not yours. That was a lie, and now I am ashamed to feel that I lied against such an honorable person. You have heard me. Will you not allow me to enter the fold of Islam? The Imam again inquired, Are you of your own free will entering our fold? Yes, the Christian replied, under your regime. He went on, I have nothing to lose by remaining in my religion and no worldly benefit to gain by embracing Islam and by confessing my guilt and sin. The code which he laid down for selection and enrollment of judges shows he took care of even minute requirements of the post and status. It says 1. Only such persons should be selected